So unless you've been living under a rock, I'm sure you understand how overpowered AI is. And if you've been trying to start one of these AI agencies or some kind of business using AI and it just kind of hasn't been working yet, it's not because you're lazy or stupid or anything like that. And it's also not because people aren't making tons of money, because they definitely are. It's just because most videos out there kind of just show you like a Miro board full of buzzwords and call it a system because it looks cool with colors, and nobody actually just like opens the accounts. Nobody shows you their screen and shows you exactly what they're doing to make the money. Nobody shows you the automations, the actual numbers behind this stuff. So in this video today, I'm going to show you exactly how I use AI ads to target qualified clients, how I use AI to fulfill those clients, actually get them good results where they want to pay me a lot of money and stay for a long time, and also how I use AI to help me scale and make data-driven decisions, and more importantly, track my numbers so I know exactly what's working and what's not. And I want to show you that this actually works. Last month, I did around $30,000. And if you've been watching these agency videos feeling confused, overwhelmed, or just like not really understanding how this stuff works, I'm hoping that if I can just like provide enough value and just show you exactly what I'm doing, it's going to fix that. Because I'm not just going to like tell you what to do. I'm going to literally just open everything up and just show you how to do it so you can copy it. So if you're new to these videos, my name's Owen. I'm 20. I just turned 20 recently. I don't have a Lambo or a fancy watch. I'm not pretending to be someone that I'm not here. But you can literally go back on my old channel right now and, see my first ever sales call, how I signed my first agency client around 2.5 years ago, my first onboarding client testimonial, and just everything that I did to go from literally nothing when I was 17 to dropping out, going to Greece and Europe and traveling the world and living in Spain for 6 months. And it's all on there. Every single step of my journey is documented on YouTube. But just a couple years ago, I was like doom scrolling constantly and just really trying to figure out what I wanted to do out of life. I knew I didn't want to go to college. I knew that my degree was business, and so it was like useless completely. I knew that I was smart enough to figure something out to make this work, to make some kind of income online, even if it's not that much, even like 10K a month. I was like, okay, that's probably doable. And I was honestly just watching so many people live the life that I wanted to live. And so these videos now are for that version of myself who didn't really know what he was doing. And one thing also that I want to cover really quickly here is that like, if you've ever felt behind, inconsistent, overwhelmed, like all this stuff, like you should be further than you are, because I felt that a lot. Just take a breath, take a step back. It's fine. Okay, you don't need to be more disciplined. You don't need some crazy technical background. Hell, I don't. You just need to know the right information and apply the right information through really good application. So this video is the right information. So there's a pretty big issue with how everyone is running these AI agencies. Okay, they're usually doing one-time projects or AI receptionists or one-time builds or, selling agents for some, company or something. It's very hard to get recurring revenue from these services, as most of them are one-time fees. And even when you do, they're not valuable enough to the company where they need to stick with you for a long enough time to make it worth it for you. If you're selling an AI receptionist, it's like, are they actually realistically going to replace their receptionist that they have human connections with, that they've been paying salaries for years? Like, they're probably not going to. You know what I mean? So it's kind of naive to think that like, oh, well, if they just pay me $500 a month, they can save $40,000 a year. It's like, yes, in theory, but it's like, are they actually going to do that? Probably not. So what's the needle moving thing that we can do for businesses to make them more money? Okay, where is the most money so we can take it? And that answer is in their leads. If we can generate them more leads, more appointments, and more jobs through some kind of paid advertising using AI, then we can just like scale their companies, make them a ton of money, and ultimately charge a percentage of that every single month and get recurring revenue. And this fix solves literally the problem that 99% of businesses have. It's very rare that a business's problem isn't getting more customers. Most businesses struggle from that, like literally all over the US, and there's millions of businesses, to help with this problem. But it's like so many of them struggle with this problem. So if we can solve this ourselves by using our knowledge of social media and AI, because hell, they don't understand it like me and you do, like that right there, we can turn that into a very, very valuable business. That's not just valuable because we make a lot, but valuable because we provide a valuable service to the marketplace. So I want to break down how I'm able to get tons of high ticket qualified clients with paid ads for this service. Now, before we even talk about how I fulfill on this service, I want to just talk about how to get them in the door in the first place. Paid ads is by far the best way. Like if you do cold calling, it sucks. Cold SMS is hard. It's like paid ads are the best way by far. And if you could put $1 in and get $3 out, why not do it? So I want to break down this campaign right here that spent around 4.7K and returned around 17K. Now, I basically had a $28 cost per lead, generated 167 leads for myself to call and book into more appointments, and this resulted in around 112 appointments booked as well. So this right here is all specifically from these simple AI made ads. Okay, these super basic ads, and I'll show you how to make them in a second. So this ad right here is the exact kind of ad that I'm talking about. It's a simple AI generated ad, and it was super easy to make. It took literally 5 minutes, and this one ad alone had made me like 15K. So I'm gonna quickly break down like the campaign structure. What I run really is just a campaign with an ad set and simply just target it and just put a bunch of creatives in that ad set. Like I really don't overcomplicate it. The actual ad set level is super basic as well. We just run with instant forms, maximize number of leads. I have DCT turned off, daily budget around $200. Audience, I just use anywhere in the US with Advantage Plus, as well as some show more controls to make the minimum age 25 so we don't get a bunch of young people, as well as Advantage Plus placements. So it's super, super simple, nothing crazy there. And let me just break down like how these ads are actually ran as well. So all we have is the ad right here, a simple primary text just like this, as well as, you know, Advantage Plus on, enhancements turned off, basic pixel. Like it's super simple. This is the exact lead form I use as well. So it's nothing crazy. And at the end, there's a booking calendar for them to book in appointments. And this is basically targeting any kind of qualified buyer that you would want to basically sell this service to. Now, let me show you how to actually make these ads because they're so simple. The best way by far is to just like literally take a screenshot of what you want and send it over to Higgsfield. It's basically an AI image generator that's really good, and it has a really good video one as well. So if we take this ad right here and just basically go ahead and screenshot it, we can go into Higgsfield and go into image generation. And literally all you have to do is say, create me an ad just like the one I attached. You could even explain it in detail if you don't have one like to draw examples from. But that's another good thing as well, is like if you want ideas about like what ads to run, if you want to get clients, the best way by far is just to like look in the ads library just like this and like just search in your niche. So if your niche is roofing, you just like look up roofers, and we could just find tons of ad creatives that are probably winning, especially if they've been on for a long period of time. And we could always just save them and screenshot them here for more inspiration, as well as AI video ads just like these ones. Create me an ad just like the one I attached in 1-to-1, but change the niche to landscaping niche. So we just hit generate just like that, and we give it like 2 minutes, and we'll end up with a good looking ad. Okay, so it's done. Now we have a winning ad. So that was extremely fast, extremely easy. Remember, the ugly ads are the ones that feed the family, not the pretty looking ones. But yeah, just like that, you have an ad. You could basically pop like 10 of these inside of an ad set, start running it at like 75 to $100 a day, set up a simple lead form just like this with some, you know, questions to DQ people, making sure they're making over 500K a year or whatever that financial qualifier looks like for you if you want to work with bigger companies. Contact info, and then a booking calendar at the end, which is built in GoHighLevel. So that's exactly how acquisition works. When someone fills out this form, you just call them up immediately and make sure they're even booked into an appointment, or if they booked into an appointment, you want to confirm the appointment with them to make sure that they're ready to go. So this is exactly how the acquisition works. And if you want to make AI video ads as well with the same platform, it's super, super easy and also super cheap. You just give it a simple prompt that you can even make in ChatGPT, send it over to here, and you're good to go. So that is how acquisition works. And AI, you basically make an ad with AI, and AI targeting on Meta is so good now that like it'll just go to the right audience immediately. You don't need any detailed targeting or anything crazy, and you'll just get the result you want. And that's also the reason why it's important to offer what we offer like as an AI agency, because it's very important that we keep it outcome driven, because we could use some kind of simple bait and switch ad that's like pay us per roof replacement, knowing damn well that we charge maybe per lead or per appointment or whatever that is. And they don't seem to really care, especially by the time that you hop on a call with them. So that is the kind of AI acquisition ad strategy. Now let me show you how to actually fulfill on this offer. So the way that the services actually break down for our clients is I run ads on their company's behalf and use AI to help book all the leads that come in on those ads into more appointments and sales. Now, I use AI to create the ads, I use AI to follow up with the leads, I use AI to book those leads into appointments, and use AI to basically send those appointments to my clients. So this right here is actually a live campaign with one of my clients with about $33,000 in ad spend on this account, and it's generated hundreds of leads. I mean, this is about 700 leads it's generated their company, which is a lot of money, especially in terms of revenue for roofing replacements. And these actual ads are extremely simple and basic and don't actually require much effort and work. And now I just want to quickly show you what I mean by that. This right here is an example. 40% lower than competitors, new roofs. If you want to build an ad just like this, I can just show you exactly how. 40% lower than competitors. Like this ad has literally gotten like 350 like leads alone. Like it's super simple. And it's like the reason why is like how fair pricing, less overhead because we're a smaller company. It's a completely logical sales angle because you're not like undercutting the price by any means. You're just saying you're cheaper than your competitors because you don't have a necessary overhead because you're a smaller company. It's like these ads make sense to run instead of just like throwing a bunch of discounts everywhere and just like getting a bunch of leads that way. It's like, yes, obviously you're gonna get a ton of leads if you say your a $20,000 roof is 5K, but it's like, that's not actually how this works. So if you need ideas for whatever niche that you're in to figure out what ads are working for that niche, all you have to do is look up your niche, once again, just like this on Ad Library, and scroll down to find ads that have been active for a very long time, preferably longer than 6 months. More often than not, if the ads have been running for around 6 months or more, like they are winners. If they're not winners, then the marketer is just bad at what they do, which is very rarely the case. So that is exactly how to find these winners. And you could always make examples. Here's an example right here. Explain what this is to Higgsfield, and they can just basically create it just like that. But once again, I wouldn't recommend these big discount offers. The company doesn't really get wrapped well when you do those. But here, and you can always just refine this and make it exactly like how you want with the exact fonts and everything. But this is an example of like a winning ad of an ad that would work very well. I mean, it's obviously worked very well here because it's gotten like 350 leads. And here's how you can make some video ads as well. So you can even create basic video ads just like this that basically explain like what you're offering.
And use top-notch materials and no shortcuts. Plus, since we're a well-run small company, we don't have unnecessary overhead costs, unlike those big companies passing on their expenses to you.
So to do so, literally all you have to do is just go into ChatGPT, ask them for a prompt, make me B-roll of someone putting on a roof replacement on a house, sped up. Something like that. And you could just use, CDance 2.0. That's usually probably the best. But yeah, you can just basically ask it to make you some basic B-roll of whatever you want. And then you can basically go into CapCut and combine them together just like this, and maybe use the Submagic captions with like 11 Labs voiceover. Like it's super, super simple to make these ads. And honestly, you need to make like maybe 5 to 10 of them before you have a winning ad library. And then you can just use those for all of your clients and, change the location, change the stuff when you sign clients in different areas. But like you can generate tons of leads, and here's exactly where those leads actually go. If you use GoHighLevel, you can collect all of the leads that they get and basically send them automated text messages and automated emails for whenever they show interest, basically. And if you want my exact snapshot with my automations in it, because I've got tons of automations here, just like this, nurture automations and alert workflows and short-term nurture, long-term nurture, like all this stuff to basically make your client successful. You can actually go into the description. There's a 11-hour free course video. You can click on that, watch it. And if you become a GoHighLevel affiliate of mine in that video, it'll basically send you over this snapshot via email. So you can always do that if you want this snapshot. So you can just basically build this template out yourself. But those ads are going to be connected by going to settings and integrations. And we basically connect our Facebook and Meta account here. And we can go ahead and just like integrate the forms that we have on Ads Manager with here. And then basically just contact all the leads that come through and book them into appointments, and then hand them off to our client by adding our client to this GoHighLevel account as well. Inside of GoHighLevel as well, we can even go to AI agents and turn on the conversational AI agent and basically create a simple bot that will basically contact all the leads that come in with a conversational workflow, and it will just book them into appointments. It'll ask qualifying questions on your client's behalf and make sure that they're only getting homeowners that are actually qualified for whatever service that they're offering. So that is how to use GoHighLevel for your success there. And this is how to fulfill on this offer and getting them tons of leads, tons of new appointments, and ultimately making them a bunch more money so you can charge for it. Now, the last portion of this video, I want to just kind of explain how I use Claude to help me basically make better decisions to scale. Now, Claude is very valuable to me. It's very helpful. You can kind of use it for any of these reasons. You can basically, tell it to figure out the metrics and, the KPIs that are going on and like what's exactly happening inside of your business so you can make decisions on scaling. So around once every 2 days or so, I just put everything that's going on inside of my business, inside of my personal life, just everything inside of this. And it tells me exactly what I need to know to work on, exactly what I need to change. If the ads are the problem, if the landing page is the problem, if the lead form is the problem, if the lead conversion is the problem, how much I can charge my clients, how much I can make off of my clients, if I can increase their ad spend, like all of these questions and all of these unknowns, you can just go to Claude, give them your exact situation based on data, and it will tell you exactly where to go. This is extremely helpful because I didn't have this when I was starting out at all. I had to like figure it out on my own. But now at this point, like you can basically just ask it any kind of question that you need to know business-wise based on metrics, and it will basically tell you exactly what you need to change, what your constraint is, and ultimately what you need to be focused on to get to the next level. Now, the problem is though, is that like even with the right information from Claude and the right information from my videos, it's like you can still not really figure out how to get this stuff done because your situation might be different. So if that's the case, if you want help one-on-one together, like me and you on a call, every single week, just building out your business in whatever niche that you want to work in. It's like, feel free to book a call down below and apply for it. Obviously, if you aren't, in the financial position where you could, then it won't allow you to. But if you are and you want one-on-one help and you want to at least speed run the process and more importantly have some accountability on the side as well, feel free to book a call down below. There's a simple little form there, but if you just want a bunch of value and you want to just see like if this guy's legit, like just watch my 11-hour video that's in the description. Like there's so much value there and it will probably help you more than you know, only if you let it. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you got some value from this and I will see you in the next one.